Most people plan what to see in Rome, but they don't plan when to see it. So often they end up waiting in long lines, walking in the heat, and getting exhausted halfway through the day. If you're new here, hi, I'm Angela, an Italian travel journalist and advisor based in Rome. In this video, I will show you when to visit what. So, the best times to visit different places and different landmarks in Rome, depending on the season. Let's start with the warmer months. From mid-May, June through October. I would suggest the first half of the morning, so from 7 to 11, to start with the open spaces. For example, from 7, if I know you're on holiday, many people argue that they are on holiday, they don't want to wake up too early, but if you manage to get out of your hotel from around 7, I would suggest to visit the open places that usually get crowded. So think Piazza Navona, Spanish Steps, Trevi Fountain. These places, in the middle of the day, they get super crowded, especially in the warm season because it's the high season. So if you manage to get there around 7, you will enjoy them without the heat, without the crowd, calm, and you can actually see the masterpieces in there. Around 8, in the warmer months, I would suggest the Colosseum and the Roman Forum. Why? Because first of all, they get extremely crowded, but they are all open spaces, so in the heat, they are not pleasant. The Roman Forum, it's all like open air, and also the Colosseum, hardly you get shades, so the earlier, the better. So from 11 to roughly 5 p.m. And this is when Rome becomes intense for 2 reasons: crowds and heat. So I suggest head to churches, especially the smaller and lesser crowded, because you are not gonna find long lines, and because usually churches are fresher. And it's a definitely nice break from the summer heat. Or museums, setting aside obviously the Vatican museums and probably also the Capitol museums, smaller museums like Palazzo Barberini or Palazzo Altemps or even Centrale Montemartini in the Ostiense neighborhood, they are fresher because they have the air conditioning and they are not too crowded. So they are excellent places to visit. I always recommend it to my clients, and not too much crowded. Obviously, from 11, like let's say around 12, 1, I suggest you can have lunch. One more thing I suggest from between 11 and 5 p.m. is just simply maybe after lunch get back to your hotel, have some time to chill out before the evening. After 5, what you can do is you visit the places that you didn't manage to visit in the morning. You can visit Castel Sant'Angelo, or you can visit last thing in the afternoon, the Colosseum and the Roman Forum when it's less hot. Now, the plan for the colder months. So around December to April. From 7 to 11 a.m., you can visit indoor and heated places. So it's exactly the opposite routine that you would plan in the summer months. So you can start with museums, churches, and indoor spaces because it's heated, warmer, and more comfortable, especially early morning in the winter when it's colder. Instead, from 11 to 5 p.m., you will plan some time for lunch, but then the places that I suggest visiting around this time of the day is the Colosseum and the Roman Forum, St. Peter's Square, and also Piazza di Spagna and the Spanish Steps, and the open spaces like Piazza Navona and Trevi Fountain. Why? Because in the middle of the day it's warmer and it's more pleasant, more comfortable, And also in winter, throughout the winter, there are not as many crowds as you will find in summer. Finally, how to plan the evenings in winter. Evenings in winter are actually easy to plan, but you need to consider that days are shorter, so many landmarks, even major landmarks, such as the Colosseum, they close quite early. Some they close, museums and landmarks, they close around 5 to 6. Maybe the Vatican museums a little bit later, but the Colosseum Archaeological Park, it closes in the coldest months they close around 4:30, so you need to plan properly. But even after they close, Rome is lovely in winter, in the winter months, in the evenings. And also you shouldn't forget the fountains, historical palaces, obelisks, lovely squares. They are just open air, so you can have fantastic walks during the winter, and in the evenings you can have a piece of pizza, you can have a gelato, you can have a drink, and you can have dinner. So you can plan lovely evenings in winter after 5 p.m. If you want to see the most popular landmarks, including Castel Sant'Angelo, but also and especially Piazza Navona, the Spanish Steps, the Trevi Fountain, completely empty, then I suggest going 1 to 2 hours before sunrise. Another tip, which I briefly mentioned before, when there are museums, they get very crowded, such as the Vatican museums, because they are the most crowded in Rome. Either you plan with a tour before opening hours or after closing time, which gets a little bit more expensive. I'm not hiding this, but if you don't want to spend more than you would usually spend with a normal ticket, I recommend planning some 2 hours before closing time. Finally, this video was about not just what to visit in Rome, but when to visit specific places in the specific seasons. If you don't feel confident enough to plan your own trip to Rome, I hear you, because Rome is huge. But as a travel advisor based in Rome, I create customized itineraries based on your preferences, your travel style, your travel pace, your favorite hotels or restaurants, and what type of holiday you would like to do. In the description below, you will find the links to all my personalized services, and you can book them. Now, Rome Actually is signing off. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.